We're on the road to WrestleMania, so how more fitting than to do a WWE NXT review in a car, because we're on the road. And that's exactly where this episode of NXT is getting reviewed from. I'm in my car. Well, it's not actually, well, it's the girlfriend's car, so it may as well be my car. You know what I mean? But anyway, we're here, we're live. Not that everyone needed to know that, but I thought it was actually a nice wee inclusion to say we're on the road to WrestleMania and we're doing a review in a car, but not that really anyone cares too much. But we did have Tyler Bate taking on Grayson Waller. I mean, I like Grayson Waller, right? I actually think he could be a big star in the future, if I'm being honest. But again, I don't understand why he's losing to Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate, I mean, the guy doesn't wear elbow pads. He doesn't wear fucking any of the above. And he's just an absolute bum, in my opinion. Do not like him. I think he's a jobber. Never liked him. I mean, even when they tried to push him back on like NXT UK, which, I mean, what was that tournament 6 years ago? Remember that ending? Horrendous. It really, truly fucking was, to be honest. But again, wasn't a fan of that whatsoever. And this show, guys, it's going to be reviewed in fuck knows what order. But again, like, what? I just don't get why Grayson Waller's losing. Yeah, there's a bit of an outburst with Shawn Michaels, but I mean, what's this ever going to lead to? Like, Grayson Waller and Shawn Michaels bumping heads? Like, Shawn's not going to come out to him. He's not going to, you know, come out of retirement to fight Grayson Waller. If Shawn Michaels going to have another match, it's going to be at Saudi Arabia, getting about 40 billion per fucking Sweet Chin Music. Alright, so scrap that before. We've got Josh Briggs and Brooke Jensen backstage. Brooks Jensen, though, is nervous that he's never did a home run, but then he's like, I've never actually did first base. He's never done it. He hasn't even kissed him. Jesus, good God almighty. What is the big man doing? Absolutely insane here. Guy's 22 and he's not done any of this stuff. Come on. Come on, damn it. Come on, brother. Testify. But I thought some of this stuff was good. JC Jane then makes her way to the ring, you know, calls her a Janetti. I mean, we can say Sean told her to say that, but I mean, the entire segment last week was literally based around Shawn Michaels throwing Marty Jannetty through the barber glass window. It was very, very similar the way it was done. It was very similar, but at the same time, it was pish and nowhere near as iconic as Shawn Michaels, you know, throwing Marty Jannetty through the barbershop wall. I mean, not in a million years. I mean, that's what happens in WWE. Like, they turn like a botch or, you know, like a shoot into an angle. And I'm not saying there's not, like, I mean, if it's good, there's no problem with that, but it's like, she fucking botched and booted Gigi Dolan way too hard. I mean, fuck up, she's probably concussed or something. I wouldn't actually be surprised. And like, they're making an angle out of it, but they're making it, oh, it was fucking brilliant. You kicked her way too hard. She's trying to say it. It's like, but you did, you fucking fud. But anyway, back to the task at hand here. Just trying to prove that all these wrestlers are very unsafe. Next up, though, we did have Tiffany Stratton against Thea Hale. She does defeat Thea Hale, but she's getting Thea Hale's getting distracted, man, by what do you call it? The DIADs. You got The Rock's daughter in there. I don't want to make a lot of references on this channel and other channel. Oh, The Rock, but you know, this is The Rock. It's his blood. It's his daughter. Are we going to get? I mean, imagine we got like a mixed tag match with The Rock and his daughter. That would be an absolute fucking disaster if they brought The Rock back for that. It truly, truly would be. But I tell you what, Thea Hall, as you're going to see in this picture coming up, I mean, look at that. Oh, that is a pretty hot. But she is pretty hot. I like wee Thea Hall, you know. And I'm sure in Chase University are passing her around like a fucking yo-yo. But back to the task at hand, guys. And we've got Javier Bernal trying to persuade a few women backstage and then they'll batter him. We've got Ivy Nile just locks him in a submission. Then we get like weird talking and you've no idea who it's from. Now apparently it's from Isla Dawn, but again, I just found all this pretty weird. We have XM defeating Damian Kemp in a match. Again, this is just garbage at the end of the day, innit, man? I'm not exactly a massive fan of any of this. We then have Shawn Michaels basically has Grayson Waller booted out of the arena, and again, this kind of sucked, in my opinion. It's like, we could just do a lot more than this, couldn't it? I don't understand what they're doing, but at the end of the day, it was pretty, I mean, it's good seeing Shawn Michaels. I'm not saying they shouldn't use Shawn Michaels, but I just feel like Grayson Waller. I mean, how the fuck is he losing to Tyler Bate? Honestly, I don't understand how he is losing to Tyler Bate. I think that is complete and utter jobber material, if we're being honest. But it is what it is. And I guess we've got to move on, which then moves to our next segment with Jinder Mahal come out. And as we band, you know, of course, they're called what? Indus Share. No idea what the plan is here. I mean, you've just got a bunch of jobbers with him, which of course that is kind of, you know, half of the gimmick. But Mahal just rambles on saying, "Oh, I've held titles before in this business. It's not easy having that burden on your back, worrying about who's going to be the next opponent. It's just your cookie cutter." I mean, it wasn't even a heelish promo. It was more just like fucking like, aye, man, it's hard carrying the belt. You've got to have the balls. You've got to have the willpower, that sort of talk, you know. And it's like, all right, then Braun Breaker's like, how about we cut this mumbo jumbo pish and we'll have a match. I like Braun Breaker for cutting it short, but I tell you what, like, he looked like a midget next to these guys, but I guess all these guys are like 6'6", so I mean, yeah, most people look like midgets next to them. And of course, we do get that tag team match a wee bit later on with Indy Hartwell telling some jobber backstage that JC Jane is wrong if she thinks she can just skip the line to the front of the women's division. But let's be real, like, the women's division in NXT is a bit, I mean, you've got Mandy Rose who's injured, you've got Fakita Lyons is out injured. They've just split up Toxic Attraction, which in my opinion has just made them two weaker. I don't think they're as good as single competitors as they are as a tag team personally. Wes Lee then comes out with an open challenge. Who answers the call? It is Wagner, but this was weird because like you had Two Stacks and Tony D come out, and then D-Jack fucking grabbed him, locked him in a sleeper hold, of course, which that's what led Wagner to come out and answer the open challenge. But as I eat a packet of Skittles, but again, I actually enjoyed seeing this wee stranglehold thing, regardless. But Drew Gulak backstage, man, absolute jobber, and then he actually gives Walker a pair of his own boots. Like, fuck me, man. What is that all about? I have no idea what that's all about. I think that's pretty jobber. But at the end of the day, Big Stevie doesn't fucking care. Backstage though, Hank, well, so I've already kind of mentioned that, haven't I? But we do get a few matches more tonight. But also, Roadblock was announced for March 7th, which ain't too far away, guys. That's like, what, 3 weeks? 3 weeks away, so make sure you check that out. But Wagner's throwing a fit backstage, blah, blah, blah. I thought this was just all kind of garbage. But then we probably get the best segment of the show. We do get Gallus and Pretty Deadly in a bar. And basically what happens here is Pretty Deadly try and challenge Gallus to like a pool thing. But they're trying to get them drunk so they accept like a title match. But then it just ends up Gallus beat them like 20-0. And around the pool, and there was some really like funny stuff where like Pretty Deadly are essentially bumming each other as they're taking the shots, which I thought was funny because they're kind of going for a Billy and Chuck thing here. You know, it's not completely serious. It's not like Bill and Frank in episode 3 of The Last of Us. It's like banter, you know. But enjoyed this. Gallus though eventually said all he had to do was ask. He didn't have to get us drunk, essentially. But then we do have more jobbers backstage. We basically just get like the, you know, the finish, so to speak, of the whole Valentine's Day thing with Brooke Jensen getting first base, blah blah blah. They were about to kiss James and him, and then James ain't happy about the fact that, well, saying she ain't happy, she basically said I love you, and it was her brother on the phone, which obviously pissed him off. So yeah, they're mad. You didn't trust her. Main event time though. Roxanne Perez, Makika Satomura defeating Katana Chance and Kaden Carter by pinfall. After the match, Satomura challenged Perez to a match, and Perez said it would be her honour. So yeah, just a jobber kind of way to end the show, in my personal opinion. But it is what it is for this show. Again, I don't really know why this Makito Satomura, I mean, this is just such like an AEW gimmick. I'm surprised they actually haven't whipped her out on that personally. But again, Perez accepts this. I don't know when this match is going to happen. Don't know if it's going to be next week or at Roadblock or whenever the fuck really it's going to be, guys. But anyway, I want you to leave your thoughts down below. In terms of this NXT, I mean, the women are hot. I'll give them that. I mean, there is a few ones that are like, oh, what's going on here? But they're definitely hotter than the main roster ones. But anyway, going to give this NXT a 2. Some alright stuff on it. But again, it just lacks like anyone, you know, who's The Grayson Waller stuff was good. I'll give it a 3 out of 10 because the Grayson Waller stuff was good. I didn't actually mind the Braun Breaker stuff and the segment backstage, and the matches weren't particularly awful. But anyway, guys, leave your thoughts down below. That's going to do it for this wee video. Until next time. That's it for Fog Wrestling, man. Peace.